Jay here for Stretford Paddock, that's Joe Smith, and this is Transfers Live, where we talk about all the latest Manchester United transfer news, or as I like to call this channel, the Brian Mbeumo channel. Because it does feel a little bit like we constantly talk about Brian Mbeumo, and that today, or this evening, is no different. There has been a little bit of a twist in the tail that we're going to get into, in terms of Spurs going in for Wissa at Brentford, and Brentford being reluctant to sell 2 players, so that means that Mbeumo might not be for sale after all. We're going to get into all that. Make sure, though, you are hitting like, share and subscribe and getting involved in the chat and the comments. What else are we going to be talking about, Joseph?
We've got all sorts to talk about. There's also been an update on United's behind-the-scenes recruitment team.
Well, we've got a recruitment team. Or are we hiring one?
We are kind of hiring one. We've already got one, but we're
all right,
more.
I thought we'd sort of...
Well, I think this whole saga tells us that we needed some more.
Maybe we should have someone who doesn't just Google the best players you can get at the minute. And go, let's get him. Because it does feel a little bit like we need someone.
We need a bit of a bit more going on.
Machiavellian. Behind the scenes.
Why can't we get this deal done? We'll talk about that though, obviously. But there's loads to talk about. Let's get into our first pun of the night, shall we? We've got producers Harry and Ben both working tirelessly on this. Don't take the whisk, Spurs.
Yeah, I love that.
Perfect.
Yeah.
You've come out flying, producer cam, immediately. Because yes, we're a little bit late. It wasn't either their fault, I will give them that. The computer crashed, I won't blame them. But that's fantastic, because it works on both levels. Don't take the piss, and also, don't take the whisk. Don't take him to Spurs. Spot on for me. Honestly, you know when that producer cam's been set up, that they're happy with what they've done. I
think Harry does producer cam really well.
What do you mean?
Like, go back to producer cam. Harry embraces the performance.
You can see him twice.
He always has a little smile, a little act. He does something. He gives a little pat on the back first.
He's got some stage chops.
Yeah.
He's just got nothing to eat today.
The banana thing was chef's kiss, by the way.
Yeah, that was really good.
That was amazing. That was the best thing you've done.
Don't take the whisk, Spurs. Let's get into this. This is via Ben Jacobs. United could be on the verge of missing out on Mbeumo after Spurs' interest in teammate Wissa. 2 offers have been rejected so far for Mbeumo, but there is still confidence from United that they will be able to get a deal done. However, Jay, and this is big, a spanner appears to have been thrown into the works.
I hate when that happens.
Yeah, me too. You know when you just work it like a ironworks or whatever.
Yeah.
Everything's just turning. Everything's going to plan. Nicely lubed. You're churning out whatever goods and services that you make in your forge. All of a sudden,
spanner
over your head. Don't even know where it comes from. In there, Wallace and Gromit style, fucking springs going everywhere, sprockets out the wazoo, nightmare.
Yeah, happens to the best of us.
Reports claim that Thomas Frank has instructed Spurs to target Wissa this transfer window. Unfortunately for United, journalist Ben Jacobs, is he saying this third person, understands that Brentford are only willing to let Wissa or Mbeumo leave, not both. This means that should Wissa agree terms with Spurs, the move for Mbeumo could be scuppered completely. Jay, is this some 4D chess by Thomas Frank to do his former club a favour and get this Mbeumo deal done at a price that suits Brentford? Is this just a test for Manchester United, or is this a genuine concern that we might lose the deal?
I don't think this is Thomas Frank trying to do Brentford a favour.
Okay.
But I'd dismiss that one straight away. I think there might be a little bit of 2 and 2 makes 4, but doesn't, in the sense that when Mbeumo was linked with Spurs, it was like, former player, all the rest of it. I mean, Wissa is a good player. He's 28, so he wouldn't be as expensive as Mbeumo, and maybe that suits Brentford a little bit more. If this has got like 30 million for him, say, kept Mbeumo. But I don't know. It's just a bit annoying, isn't it, that this is sort of surfacing.
Yeah.
Regardless of how true it is, it's like, come on, can we just have less drama on the whole Brian Mbeumo transfer, not more, not more twists. No. Just when we thought we dealt with Spurs in the sense that Brian Mbeumo was like, I ain't going there. Now they've sort of gone round, they could be going round the back door and going, well, I'm Wissa then, and that stops you getting on Mbeumo. So ultimately, United don't end up with Brian Mbeumo if this goes ahead. I still feel like it's going to be okay, but I am getting a little bit frustrated with it all because we're just at this impasse, aren't we, where we've made the bid, they've said no, then what happens now? Surely the only resolution to this is if we make a third bid. Because I don't see Brentford just going, actually, we've changed our minds. Go on then, we'll have it. Am I wrong?
Well, mate, I mean, I guess they could do that, but yeah, I agree with you. It doesn't feel like that's anywhere remotely on the cards at the moment. I don't get why it's taking so long. I could understand it if they wanted to, like, let's say they were in the Club World Cup or there was an international tournament or, we were 15, 20 million apart on valuation.
Yeah.
But everything points to the fact that it's well under 10 million, the difference. And I don't know, everyone still seems confident, both sides. Mbeumo wants to join, United still want him, this, that and the other. All the words that you're hearing are perfect. It's like, okay, great. Why hasn't it happened then? Because it's been 6 weeks of this. It's like, when was it that we first interested him?
Was it 5 weeks ago?
Yeah, the start of June.
It was like, we literally tried to get a deal done not long after Cunha signed.
Yeah.
I think that was our initial bid.
So it's been 5 weeks and probably 3 or 4 since the second bid went in, or certainly 2 or 3. What is happening on a day by day? Do we speak to Brentford every single day?
This is what me and you were chatting about earlier, wasn't it?
Do we, is that like a daily thing? Is it like, get back to us on Thursday, someone's on holiday, we can't do it right now? Do they have these sort of arguments where it's like, no, we're not going to do that, you're taking the piss? Or is it much more civil, we think this, well, no, actually, we can't do that? Because I've never had a conversation with anyone where you're trying to, I mean, my version of this is at a car boot where it's 50p, can you do 3 for a quid? Yeah, go on then. But how far away from what you see and what you hear about as negotiations can this be that it's taking weeks and weeks and weeks? I'd love to know whether Brentford have gone, actually, we're just not talking about this for a while, or whether United have gone, we'll revisit. But all the sounds are, they're talking all the time, they're in constant talks, everyone wants it to happen, they're not that far from on a number. Why isn't it happening? I genuinely just don't get it. I'd love to hear someone tell us why. Everything seems to be lining up, but we just can't get it all in the same direction. I don't get it at all. I really just don't get it.
No, I just presume that Brentford have said no and United are waiting, and it's almost like an internal United thing where we're trying to work out what our next move is. Can we rustle up the extra cash from anywhere?
Yeah.
Have we got anything? Do we need to wait for a sale? Do we need to wait for someone like Anthony Elanga to sign on the dotted line for Newcastle if he hasn't already? Or who's the other lad at Benfica who's got on Real Madrid?
Fernandes.
Thank you, Fernandes, who I think we get a buy-on clause from that, a sell-on club fee from that. Do we have to wait for one of those deals to go and we go, right, we are guaranteed 6 million from that, we can go the extra 4 million or 3 million, whatever it is, for Mbeumo? Is money that tight? That's what we're doing. I don't know.
I know.
It just seems bizarre to me that negotiations have been ongoing for 4 weeks. What?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
What can you be talking about?
Yeah.
Because obviously the contract stuff you deal with the player directly.
Yeah.
That's a separate thing, and that can happen in a number of days. But the fee and the number of years that it's paid over, I mean, there may be so much more into it than we know. But typically, isn't it just here's how much in add-ons, and here's how long it's going to take us to pay it? Aren't they basically the only things they're discussing?
Do you remember when it was like, obviously Wolves was a buyout clause, so it was different with Cunha. But do you remember like that story broke that United wanted to do it over 5 years rather than 2?
Yeah.
Wolves said no straight away, and that was the end of that.
Yeah, and we just went, oh, okay,
right,
fair enough. In a couple of days.
Yeah, it didn't take 5 weeks of negotiation for us to go, actually, we'll give it in 2 years then.
Maybe, could they be doing that thing where, do you know, sometimes, again, back to the car boot, but you'll say, how much is that? And someone will say, make me an offer. Is there a chance maybe that Brentford aren't telling us what they actually want for him, and then they're hitting us with the old, make me an offer, but if you keep taking the pisses off the table? Maybe, are we down to our last offer? I'm just trying to think, like, what could it possibly even be? I know that sounds preposterous. You'd think they'd accept that he's for sale and we want 65 million for him or whatever. I'd love to know, because it seems like something must be going on that a rational, sort of sensible conversation doesn't account for. Because I simply cannot see how this is taking weeks and months to come together on a few million quid. I would love to speak to a transfer negotiator about this.
You could maybe even understand it if they were like, we're gonna wait because he's on like 300k a week. So if we wait a month, we've saved £1 million there on his wages. But he's not. He's on 45k a week. So it's not like it just seems bizarre. Thiesco Santa Clara says Mbeumo is the new De Jong. I get that. He was just dragging on a little bit in it. Giselle Bengenboy says, I think Man U waiting to sell Sancho to Juve. That is a done deal almost before signing Mbeumo, as Brentford want more money now. There you go.
But I also don't even buy into that thing that Brentford want more money. Like this whole Elanga's gone to Newcastle, Brentford want more money. We think, well, what are you fucking idiots or something?
Yeah.
Are you actually an idiot? Because I'm not a Newcastle United fan or a Nottingham Forest fan, and I know that Newcastle bid 50 million for him in January, and it was rejected.
Yeah.
So obviously he's worth somewhere in that ballpark. Did that bid completely miss the table of Brentford?
Yeah.
Does Brentford have just no concept of what a 20 Premier League goal striker or attacker is worth? To the point where they go, oh, actually, well, he's gone for 10 million, and let me just crunch the numbers. Oh, actually, we want 75 million. Surely not. That's what I'm saying. Is there something illogical going on here? Is the person who do these deals for Brentford some nutter that just storms out the room every time you get him a drink you don't like?
Yeah.
Like, I know it sounds ridiculous, but I'm almost thinking like, what is something happening that a sane person doesn't account for? Or we just don't know anything about deals? I don't get it.
I just feel like, it feels to me like it's sort of up to United to come with another offer, and we haven't done that for whatever reason yet. That's how it feels. I might be wrong, and it might be the sales thing. It might be just we haven't got it. We physically haven't got. I think we have got money on that credit facility, haven't we? That rolling credit facility. So. If we wanted to dip into that, so I don't know. Get involved in the chat in the comments and let us know what you think. Dan United 94 says love an improvised, impromptu, satirical Joe Smith semi-rant.
Thank you.
A full name Huggy says. We don't have the funds.
We do though, don't surely everyone said we did. All of our accounts are public, we're a public company. People said we did have the money. Finance people who look at money for a living said we've got a bit of cash to spend, and if we're desperate, we've got a credit card we can buy, we can spend it on. Especially if I think the only thing that explains it to me is United aren't bothered about this shit. Wissa, he ain't going anywhere, they're not going to sell him. They're not going to get as much from him as Mbeumo, so why would they sell him? If Brentford want to sell one of their 20 goal attackers, selling the one that's worth 25 million less than the other makes no sense. Maybe they're thinking, maybe Man United are thinking, we're going to let this run out a little bit. Because like you said, the longer we leave it, the more Brentford start getting cold feet. They can't spend the money either, because they're going to want to reinforce. They've just lost their manager. They've just lost Norgard as well, I think. Yeah. They're about to lose either Mbeumo or Wissa, or who knows, both. Maybe we're going, actually, fuck them. Wait a month. For once, we're not necessarily the ones that are completely desperate here. You're the one whose club is being flipped upside down. And if we wait a couple of months, you might come to us and say, actually, we could probably do with spending a little bit this summer. We're going to need that Mbeumo money pretty quickly. Maybe we're doing that. And that would make a bit of sense. I think just because we are United fans, we feel terrified that it's going to go wrong again. Maybe we're looking at the negatives, and from a United side, maybe we're the ones who are trying to sort of control the situation. I don't know. I'm just spitballing.
Akash K says that the credit facility is not a goer in this. Josh Salmon says, feels weird haggling over a few mil. Just pull your finger out and get it done. My heart can't take it anymore. DRZ says, just get a CM first. Not like we are going to be able to address all our issues in one window. I think even Mbeumo's there to be done now, and we're almost there. Get that done first. For me, I think if we were to go right, we'll part this and go and get a central midfielder, I think that means we're just walking away from Mbeumo. I don't think we can go and get a midfielder, and with presumably Mbeumo money, and then wait to try and raise some more funds from sales to go back in from Mbeumo.
It doesn't even seem like we know what midfielder we want.
No.
Whereas this guy, not him, but Mbeumo, is available right now in a position we want, and he's very good. Yeah. I wouldn't, like you said, I wouldn't drop that for the sake of a midfielder that have we even heard who our top targets are in midfield? I don't even know if we have.
Joshua Bowater says, I reckon United are negotiating like Rick off that porn star show. Hands up for the Panthers says, Joe, majority of negotiators in football are nutters who want mad offers. The market is overpay for players, and Mbeumo is no more 60 million. It is insane.
Maybe there is. Maybe there's some right fucking weirdos doing these jobs.
Maybe.
I don't know.
We'll
Can we get the list of upcoming stories on at some point, please? Because I don't even know what we've got next. Should we move on to our next story? What we got next? Second pun. Vel. Who will it be? Ideally, it would have had another V there for me.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean? Because if you're some sort of vampire, whatever type accent, he would have said it for that as well, wouldn't he?
Vel. Who will it be?
Who will it be?
Who will it be?
Because if it's well, why would it be well, will? You'd probably pronounce it all the same, wouldn't you?
Yeah. So you've
Doghouse.
You've done yourselves there. You could have had a
It's not bad though.
proper banger.
Yeah, I don't mind it though. I don't hate the.
It's alright.
Yeah, it's decent. And this is an interesting story actually. And luckily for us, we're speaking to Laurie Whitwell tomorrow.
Woo!
So we'll be able to get the inside scoop on exactly what's going on here. Obviously, this is David Ornstein. They aren't the same person.
I love that. Luckily for us, we're talking to Laurie Whitwell.
Well, a very close colleague, of course. Worked for the same publication. I'm hoping they'll have shared notes.
Yeah, he
That's what we're
usually
saying.
knows what's going down
He does,
with his
of course.
colleagues.
Yeah. United are searching for a head of senior recruitment, a new role overseeing senior scouts. The appointments are part of the ongoing restructuring and attempted modernisation of the. Sorry, the reason I paused there is because that says appointments, but so far we've only heard about one.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll hear what the other ones are as well. The appointments are part of the ongoing restructuring and attempted modernisation of the scouting network with Sportsology, hate that word, the sports intelligence consultancy, is supporting, right, let me start this again. The appointments are part of the ongoing restructuring and attempted modernisation of the scouting network with Sportsology, the sports intelligence consultancy, is supporting United on senior high. Sorry, I'm just getting that wrong. United plan to retain significant human scouting and analytical capabilities, particularly focused on emerging talent with strengthened data support. The new head of senior recruitment will report into Christopher Vivell, not to him, into him, who was appointed as United's permanent director of recruitment in February. It forms part of a wider overhaul of the club's football structure, which United have previously said is aimed at creating a more lean, agile and efficient setup.
Nice one.
Not bothered?
Yeah, I'm sure it's important and a positive, but I just fucking want Brian Mbeumo signed.
I love this
shit.
shit,
Sick of hearing about this shite.
I love this shit.
Do you know what I mean? Like, what do you do?
No, I live for this. I live for this shit right
When
here.
I see Ornstein exclusive Man United, I expect to see Brian Mbeumo is signing, not more fucking shenanigans going on at some sort of managerial level. So yes, it's important. Yes, we all love a bit of sportsology and intelligence consultancies. We love all that. I get it. It's vital. Yeah. We don't want to be left behind with all the other clubs. If they're probably getting in on the sportsology stuff, fine. I'm just massively underwhelmed by it all. I don't really care. I'm aware it's important. I'm just not bothered.
I think that's fair enough. If you accept that, I think that's fair enough.
Sorry.
I am quite bothered.
Yeah.
I get excited by this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't like the word sportsology. I hate it actually.
Why?
I think I don't like this sort of portmanteauification of things. Also, way too close to sofology, which is one of the high street's leading sofa shops.
Right.
They almost feel like they're two parts of the same brand, and I don't think they should. Also, by the sound of it, it's just AI stuff, because the phrase United plan to retain significant human scouting sounds like something from a fucking sci-fi film, doesn't it? Significant human scouting underway.
Well, yeah,
Significant
that's a very
humans
weird thing to say.
Scouted.
Yeah, I get it though, because AI and all that, innit?
Isn't it bad?
Right.
So now
Put
you
it
can
in a
just
search
put a
now.
drone
Ask
on
chat.
every 6-year-old's
Who
head
should
in the
we
world.
get? Who should we sign? Who's the best
Yeah.
defender to get? And it'll just tell you.
Do it now.
Go on.
Google, just maybe put in ChatGPT, Man United need a central midfielder
Yeah.
that would be worth under £40 million.
A central midfielder.
Yeah. Under 40 million quid, under the age of 26.
Under the age.
Just of 26 to complement the current squad.
To complement
Yeah.
the current squad.
Yeah.
Who should we
Yep.
sign? Who should?
This is what Sofology
They
do, by
sign.
the way. Who should they sign? Yeah.
Because they might not know I'm a United fan.
Here we go.
Right, let's have a look here now.
Well, he's thinking.
Right.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
You know the first suggestion? Moises Caicedo from Brighton and Hove Albion. 22 estimated transfer fee, 40 million.
40 million.
Second one, Musala from Bayern Munich, 20. The third one's a great one. The third one, I actually think there's some legs in this. In fact, you know what? I'm going to stick my neck out and I'm going to say ChatGPT has nailed it. And I think we will see this player at Old Trafford in a United shirt next season. The third suggestion, Mason Mount from Chelsea. Have I fucking wandered into ChatGPT from 2021?
I was going to say, ChatGPT barely even existed when Mount played for Chelsea. Sandro Tonali, AC Milan.
Like,
this is a disgrace.
What the fuck
and
is
also,
going on?
the last one, Julian Weigl.
Yeah.
29. You said under 26. I hope Sophology or BHS or DFS or whoever it is that have come in as United scouters are doing a lot better than this.
Right, let's try. What midfielder?
Let's try. Yeah.
Let's
try the Nationalist Socialist Party supporting.
Yeah. I'm trying grok here.
Himmler in midfield.
Right, what midfielder should Manchester United sign?
This is a disgrace. See, this is why you don't need to worry about AI. Other than it using too much electricity and making the planet 10 degrees hotter and everyone burning and drowning.
What essentially should Manchester United sign? There you go. Even though it should have been Which or... Right, okay. Guerrera from Valencia, we've been linked with him.
Fucking hell.
Edison from Atalanta, we've been linked with him.
He's guessing.
Tuchemani from Real Madrid. I don't think that one's going to happen.
It might do.
Delgado from Boca Juniors.
Actually, fucking hell.
They're recommending
Jesus.
Javi Guerrera.
I tell you what. Can we get Grok in here next week not instead of you, but maybe you sit there?
What? Why me?
Why have I got to make me and Grok could do the show.
Well, me and Grok could do it.
Well, it could, but obviously you'd lose more. I'm just... Huh? Yeah, you'd love it behind there.
Producer cam on, let me have a look. Where am I going to sit?
There's a spare seat there, look.
Can I sit there?
And then me and Grok can do it.
Right, okay. Yeah, all right, we'll do that then. We'll get
Although if Grok asked me to shave the sides of my moustache off and just leave the middle bit, I am going to have a word. Yeah. Is there an issue with the streaming bit rate at the moment? Because YouTube's
I'm getting an error message here.
Yes. Okay, cool. So yeah, United are going to get some new people and not just AI, so they say. But it sounds like Grok's done a lot of the hard lifting for us already. I'm very excited about this. We'll learn more about this tomorrow from Laurie, so we can stay tuned for that, because really at the minute, we don't know. We don't know who it is or what it is. Okay, right, what we got next? A saint makes a deal with the devils. Bloody lovely that. Bloody brilliant.
Producer cam.
Brilliant. Well done again. The little caca celebration there. That's very good stuff. Look at this. I thought you were going to do a Harry Ramsden joke. Harley Emsden.
Right, okay. Yeah.
United fishing. Mushy peas.
Yeah.
Doesn't
love
work.
all that.
Harley Emsden James has signed for Manchester United. Here we go. This is why Mbeumo hasn't happened, Jay. We've been working on this. Harley, Emsden, James, Bosch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What?
No, it's good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fabrizio Romano, talented, and I'll repeat this, talented 15-year-old. What? What?
That looks a little bit wonky.
You all right?
Is it me or is that
what's happening?
Signed.
Yeah.
Is that signed or straight?
Is it?
Signed.
Oh, the E's a tiny bit lower than the N.
Yeah, what's going on there? It's not you? No. Oh, bizarre.
Just pixel error.
Carry on. Continue.
Talented 15-year-old centre-back Harley Emsden James has signed for Manchester United. Here we go. PL-approved transfer. United recruitment team have been tracking Emsden James closely for the last 12 to 14 months. Man United see Emsden James as a major talent for the future. This makes sense. This makes sense why I saw you Googling talented 15-year-old the other day. Everything is clear now. It was Emsden James the whole time.
An obvious joke, you know. Huh? Such a silly little
No, I'm just saying now I get it. Cause I think,
let's make a joke about Googling children, eh?
No,
honestly.
I'm just saying now I get it, because obviously at the time I thought, that's weird. But now it makes sense. Obviously.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Presumably we're going to sign a talented 14-year-old in the upcoming days as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I was scouting in that. Players for United.
No, of course not. Have you heard of him? Do you know anything about him? Have you spoke to Finn about him? That's the crucial thing.
I think Finn mentioned him. I think the good thing about this is it's kind of what United said they were going to do. We're going to get youngsters. And also, Southampton are probably raging because if they kept hold of him for a little bit longer, a couple of years, you're going to get some decent money for him, aren't you? Now it's like a 15-year-old. We've kind of got him before he's really got going. We're seeing this with United, this shift, this focus on young players. I spoke to Finn a few times about some of the younger players we've seen at other clubs, and now United are confident they can get them because we offer this path to the first team. That is true, and it's provably true. And we're not just talking about like going back to the Busby Babes or the Class of 92. If you're a young player at Premier League level and you come to Manchester United and you rate yourself and you back yourself, there's a good chance you can get into a decent chance you can get into the first team. We do that a lot. If you saw it last season, like everyone knows about Kobe Mainoo and Alejandro Garnacho, but also Tyler Fredrickson got into the first team, Harry Emas got into the first team. There's Jack Morehouse is knocking on the door, Godwin Kokonki's knocking on the door, Camerson's knocking on the door as well. You see these players who are in the squad quite a lot, some of them getting debuts, some of them getting regular games. It happens. And also at United, even if it doesn't quite work out for you, you can get a move and go elsewhere in the Premier League or to abroad. There's a decent sort of chance of you getting through the ranks in the academy and getting a sort of cracker whip relatively early in your career. Like United aren't the sort of team that go, well, we'll wait till you're in your 20s. We've seen 17, 18, the 19-year-olds play for Manchester United first team. One of the reasons Cheeto came to Manchester United, we were told, is because he was sort of sold the idea that he'd be getting into the first team sooner rather than later, and he did, and he has done. Aidan Evan, which he was already looking like a bargain at £1 million. I know he's 18 years old, so he's 3 years older than this kid, but he was told, listen, we're not bringing you in for what you're going to be doing in 3 or 4 years, bringing you in for what you can do now. You're a backup to Lissandro Martinez. Martinez gets injured almost immediately, and Aidan Evans in the squad, he's in the team, unfortunately for him, he gets injured too, and ends up sort of obviously becoming a player that now we all look at and go, actually, if he starts, I don't have a problem with that. So I expect to see a lot more of this, and I think it is one of the few positives about Manchester United at the minute is we do offer this path to the first team. People believe it. Parents, if I was a parent of a player going to a club, obviously if my kids were able to play for United, I want them to play for United because I'm a big red. But if I wasn't a United fan and I've got a kid who's really good at football and you're looking at the best career move for them, you probably look at United and go, that is a good career move. Just from a sort of...
There's actually a chance they'll play for him.
Which is what you want, obviously.
More than you can say for a lot of the top teams or big teams.
Emmett Soda says Collier as well. Yeah, good shout. S. Madison says, bro, we finished 15th. We don't need kids at the minute. We need players. This kid is a player. Like, we're not just getting children for the sake of it. He's a footballer. That's
and also, it didn't cost money. It's not like we've spent the Mbeumo money on him. We accidentally typed in 60 million and we've got him. He's like, he's free. Or
I just like the idea of that. We don't need kids. We need players. What are you doing? Like, but he plays football.
He's a footballer. One day he might be
just signing random 15-year-olds.
Local schools.
Something to do.
You boy.
Do you know what I mean? He's really good at geography.
Him there with the glasses and the ham sandwich. He plays for us now. He never played football before. He's in the chess team.
We'll get him anyway. We need to do something.
He plays for us now.
I think you can do both. This is the idea. You can sign younger players because we do need to look at the future, and we haven't got the amount of money that we want where we can go out and splash massive amounts of cash. So a way around that is to plan for the future, which is kind of what we're doing. And also we should be signing like Brian Mbeumo.
Exactly. What we got next? Here we go. 2 10s, 2 10s?
It's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
What? I don't really get it.
The idea that you've got Cunha, who's a number 10, who is the new number 10, and the old number 10 in Marcus Rashford. I believe, is that right? Yeah.
I get it.
So I get it.
The number 10 on the shirt rather than position. Okay, I get it. It works. It works. It's not bad. Producer Cam, what do you make of our response? No. It's not making it into the letter back home, that one, is it? Let's read through these. Marcus Rashford report back to United. Marcus Rashford reports back to United despite the club giving him time off to look for a move. Rashford reported back to training at Carrington on Monday and Tuesday despite being one of the 5 players given extended leave to secure moves away from Manchester United. The England international did not participate in team training with the rest of the Red Devil squad and instead, completed an individual session. Rashford, whose number 10 jersey has been handed to new signing Matheus Cunha, was due back later this month when Amorim and the Red Devil squad had jetted off to the US on pre-season tour, according to friend of the channel, Mark Critchley. Thoughts?
Is he going?
What?
Would he be going on the tour?
No, I think they mean
When
we go, you can.
I was talking about this morning. I wasn't sure.
I don't know. That's how I would read it.
Okay.
As in, like, you don't come back until we've gone, and then you can mess about on the training ground while we're not here.
It's just all really sad, isn't it, the way this has panned out.
Yeah.
It's not the way we thought or hoped. Marcus Rashford's United career would pan out when I thought when I saw him as a 18-year-old scoring those 2 goals against Midtjylland and the goals against Arsenal and the winner in the Manchester derby, that we were going to see a player there that was going to play for United and for the rest of his career. Obviously, come through the academy, Withenshaw, born and bred, and all the rest of it. We thought this is going to be it. And there's been some highs, there has been good seasons, but there's been some lows as well. And now it's just descending into almost a farce.
Yeah.
Where he's fell out with the manager, he's on massive money, we're struggling to move him on. He's not even training with the squad, he's having to train on his own. I've seen him posting stuff on his Instagram. The truth is, we just need him gone.
Yep.
We need him to go, whether that's on loan or ideally a transfer, a sale. We want money for him. We don't just want to kick the can down the road and have this sort of resurface again in a year's time, and also we need some dough. So I hope that he gets to move somewhere, and I hope that history is kinder to Marcus Rashford than we are being at the minute. I think it can be. I think in a few years people might look back at Marcus and go, look, he wasn't perhaps the consistent performer at all times that we needed, but there was a lot of good times there as well, and maybe fans sort of almost forgive him if that's the right word.
No, I agree. There aren't many people in the category that he's in either. Academy players that have come through, been more than good enough for the first team, played a lot of games. What has he played? 400 odd games for Man United.
Like he's played a lot of games.
You know, he's one in the grand scheme of things, one of the higher appearance makers for Man United. You know, there can't be too many players above him. I don't know, what is he, 20th, 30th on the list, maybe something like that. He's played a shitload of games for Man United, and yet he's leaving under a cloud of ill discipline or whatever it is. He's fallen out with the manager. Is there anyone else who ticks all those boxes? I don't think there is there? Certainly not in my lifetime. I know
426 games he's played for United.
That's amazing. Like, and I know that Keane left and fell out, but he wasn't an academy player. Maybe it's a similar thing. But I just think, like, I've never seen this before, and it's sad. Like you said, a player comes through. If you're an academy player who plays 200, 300, 400 plus games for Man United, you think you're probably going to spend your whole career here. Or certainly, we might let you leave at some point because you're not. But he signed his big mega deal 18 months ago, and within 12 months, he'd fallen out with the manager, and he has to leave. It's just mad to me. I can't believe that it's happened like this, but we've been through it a million times. It's a shame, I agree with you. Just try and get him sold now. Just try and get some money.
Yeah, get him sold, and hopefully we can get that money spent elsewhere. Yeah. Akash K, so I'm going to have to go back a little bit here because I missed a few super chats from earlier. Joshua Bowater says, Joe, can you can him Laurie Vitvel tomorrow? I think that's Joe, can you call him Laurie Vitvel?
Because of the Vitvel stuff.
Vitvel
I'll
tomorrow.
give it a go.
Joe Robson says, hello from Omaha, Nebraska, by way of Colby Town NN18. Today's my birthday and I was desperately hoping for good Mbeumo news. Now we're past the 7th deadline. At what point do we start panicking? I'm not quite panicking, I'm just frustrated at the minute.
Yeah, happy birthday though, by the way.
Yeah, sorry, happy birthday Joe
indeed.
Robson. What a fantastic surname. Akash K, shame about his first name though, but you can't have it all. Akash K, ChatGPT suggests...
My name?
Oh, I didn't realise. Sorry. ChatGPT suggested Ismail Kone as Bruno partner. Neo Wool says we want JPT. Works for Joe or Jay. Either.
Works better for you though, doesn't it?
JPT.
Because there's your full name in it.
Yeah. BM says Harley, Emsden, James. There we land. Is that kid still going? The There We Land kid. Is he still doing his bits?
Fabrizio Romano's lawyers are all over him like vultures.
Because he went on Sky and everything, didn't he?
He has absolutely clamped him
down.
You
can't, like, no one can stop him doing There We Land.
No, honestly, Romano has got him absolutely tied up in red tape, that kid.
I'll be honest. Red tape.
He's fucked. He's fucked. Right, honestly, if he even points a camera at his own face, Romano's in there.
So he can't.
Done.
If he even says, like, I'm thinking of doing a bank transfer. No.
Yeah.
Any transfer.
A dozen Italian lawyers immediately swarm him. Yeah, like the president's been shot at.
Yeah, he can't do anything.
No, he's done.
It's a shame.
It's a shame because he had promise.
He did.
I thought that kid was on something, but quite rightly, he's protecting his brand in the most aggressive of ways. Anyway, let's move on to our next story. What we got?
You like it? You like the Jimch?
The Jimch that stole pre-season. You look genuinely sad.
I don't know what to think about this. I mean, it's very talented of you to be able to do this. I'm not sure how I feel about it.
Why?
It's all right.
Yeah. A lot of Jim's face is cut off.
Why is his face? That's what's.
He didn't sort of bend the face around the shape.
Yeah,
of the
if
Grinch
his
very
face
well.
was full, I think it'd be much better. I think the fact he's missing half his head is perturbing me a little bit.
Yeah.
So we'll just do that.
Your body's covering it all.
Oh, sorry.
That's more like it. Now that's a pun I can get behind.
Yeah, there you go. That's good. It's good.
I can see the effort that's gone in. I don't know why he's yellow as well. Why is he not green?
I think the background's playing with your eyes, mate.
Oh, the background's playing with my eyes.
Looks alright.
That's not green, is it? That's yellow.
That's better.
Fucking hell. Right, let's get into this. Manchester United are set to abandon traditional gift giving as part of their pre-season plans. Clubs, Jay, usually exchange both pennants, Jermaine and otherwise, and gifts during pre-season friendlies. But United won't partake in the latter when they play Leeds on July the 19th in Stockholm. The exchange of the pennant and usually the gifts tends to happen before the match and is sometimes done in front of the cameras. United plan to instead put some budget towards hosting rival executives, started with planning a drinks reception with Leeds officials in Stockholm. Rivals believe, what rivals? It's a cost-cutting measure, although United sources insist it's a move away from needless ceremony and pomp, especially when facing English opponents. Rivals believe it's a cost-cutting measure. What rivals? Who's been asked about this?
Well, this is just talk shite, stirring up nonsense. Listen, I'm not going to defend Jim Ratcliffe and his cuts and all the rest of it, but I'm pretty sure United aren't trying to save £2 on a pennant. Let's get fucking real for a minute.
Yeah.
Like, I get the idea of we're playing Leeds. Do we need to give Leeds a gift? Do we fuck?
No.
Like, let's not do that.
I get it when you're playing like Sao Paulo or
or Benfica on an anniversary or something.
Yeah.
But like, we're playing Leeds, let's give them something.
We're literally playing them in like 3 months.
Yeah, so I understand that, and I don't really quite buy into the idea. Listen, I know that some of the cuts and the cost-cutting measures that Ratcliffe and Ineos have done have been a little bit ridiculous in terms of like Christmas bonuses and free travel for the staff to the cup final, whatever. But we can't afford a pennant is just obviously not true.
Yeah.
Like, it's practically sort of worthless.
Yeah.
Like,
they cost about £6 to make.
Yeah, it's not a thing.
No.
Like, so this is just talk sport, just trying to mischief make a thing.
Yeah.
And it's worked to a certain degree on it. So
yeah.
I'm not remotely bothered about this whatsoever.
Neither am I. I completely echo what you're saying there. Doesn't matter, don't care, don't need to give Leeds a gift anyway.
No.
Not bothered.
Yeah, that sounds about right to me. Any more for any more?
Yes, of course, we've got one more. What we got here? Co-big or co-home?
Yeah,
I enjoy that.
Yeah.
It's been a good night tonight for these two.
Yeah.
Hasn't it? It's been a very good night for these two. I'm impressed.
Yeah,
Co-big or co-home, it works.
Yeah, they've done really well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I like it.
Would you, if you had to pick one of the two?
Co-big or co-home?
They're your two options.
I don't understand.
Look at his face as you answer.
I've interviewed him.
Oh yeah?
Lord Co.
So what are you picking?
Co-big.
I thought you might.
Yeah. What are you picking?
I'll take co-big as well when you're finished with it.
Right, okay. Sounds good.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Manchester United welcomes the 10-year-old growth plan for the region announced today by Mayor. Now, this 10-year-old growth plan, this isn't like the 15-year-old that we signed from Southampton.
Right, okay.
Who is 10-year-old growth plan?
Right.
Who does he play for now?
Yeah.
You don't want to know? Okay. No, this is something different. The vision, which was set out at an event in the city centre, detailed how Manchester is setting its sights on a new era of economic growth. Jay, you're going to love this. Full screen. On the way to becoming a second city to rival any other on the planet by 2050. Fuck off! What? What? We'll come back to that. Included in the mayor's speech was the appointment of Lord Sebastian Coe as the chair designate of the Mayoral Development Corporation, or MDC as we often say, for the Old Trafford regeneration project. The new role will see Lord Coe play a key role in the next stage of the project as plans advance to deliver a new 100,000-seater stadium at Old Trafford as the centrepiece of a wider regeneration programme. This is from Manchester United, official business, no speculation here. Give me your thoughts, Jay, specifically the idea that Manchester is on its way to becoming a second city to rival any other on the planet.
I love that to be true.
Yes.
I love it if when you were considering whether to move to New York or Madrid or Manchester, you were genuinely confused about which is the best city.
Shanghai.
Yeah, it's like, which is the best city? I would love it because I do love my city, but let's be real. I'll tell you what, let's focus on not finishing 15th before we start worrying about whether we're going to have the best city in the fucking world. Call me old-fashioned. I'm a little bit sceptical about this. I just am. You may disagree, and you may think in 25 years, Manchester is going to be as good as anywhere.
As good as gold.
I hope you're right. I'm not quite sure of that.
Also, this whole thing of a second city to rival any other on the planet, that's weird, isn't it? Because that's like it's saying no matter which city you rival it against, it will be second to that city.
Yeah.
Because this is any other on the planet. So if I say London, Manchester's second to London, yes.
Right.
If I also said Glasgow, second to that.
It's a weird phrasing.
Because it doesn't say that it's only second behind one.
Yeah.
It says it's second behind every other city.
Is that what they're claiming here? It starts on a new era of economic growth on the way to becoming a second city to rival any other on the planet by 20... Is it to rival any other second city?
I don't know.
Which, if that is the case, what does that mean?
Are
we saying that we're the second city in England or in the UK?
Behind London, obviously.
Yeah, so we would rival any other second city. So we would rival, say, I don't know, Milan, if that's a second city to Rome.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What's the second city in America?
Would we rival Swansea?
Chicago's the second city.
Yeah, he's right. Chicago is the second city.
And what's the first? New York?
Yeah, probably New York.
Over LA or San Francisco?
Yeah, I presume so, yeah.
What is this? What is this second city bollocks? Why don't you just say to become one of the most impressive cities in the world, or as impressive as any city in the world?
Yeah.
What is this second to any other on the planet? Well, which one? It's literally saying you name any city, we're behind it, isn't it? Second to any city. All right, well, I'll give you a city. Rochdale. Yeah, it's second to that. All right, Swansea. Yeah, it's second to that. Milton Keynes. No, it's second to that, actually. Second to fucking everything. It's the worst. If you literally head-to-head any city with Manchester based on this, it's behind it. Manchester's now the worst city in the world thanks to this. Absolute goons brigade. Unbelievable. Anyway, yeah, co-big or co-home indeed.
Seth Cholin says, absolute nonsense.
Yeah.
He also said, Seb co-away.
Lovely.
Also, someone else has said, sorry.
What?
Someone, I've missed
You
it.
said sorry?
No, someone said, their city is Salford, not Manchester, forgive me.
See, that's a good point.
Right, okay.
Not even in Manchester.
Emmett Toner says Chicago is the second city because it burned down.
What? As in it would have been the first if it hadn't have burned down?
Yes, Chicago fire, he says here.
Wow.
Isn't Brummyland the second city, says Joshua Bowater.
They say that,
They
but
say
in what way is it?
It's not though, is it?
No offence to Birmingham, I know it's a bit big,
yeah,
but also...
like, Manchester's the second city.
What's happening in Birmingham?
Do you know what I mean?
No offence.
Oh yeah, because it was rebuilt, that's why. Stephen Horn says COVID.
Very good.
Yeah,
COVID.
Very good.
You've got a real sort of smug look and maybe one too many buttons undone on that shirt, hasn't he?
Yeah, he looks a bit too old to be having that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? When you've got he's still a very young man, obviously. But when you've got all that going on, I don't think you should have two buttons undone. One's okay, two's too much.
That image of him looks a bit like you're his son's girlfriend and you've just walked in on him on holiday and you're the other two in the villa.
Yeah,
Doesn't it?
does. It does. I can imagine him with his
Take a seat.
thumbs in his pockets like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Leaning against the that.
Yeah. So,
Sure.
you're Daniel's new bit of toddy, eh?
A little bit of skirt.
Oh, we get to know each other.
Yeah, a bit much. Do the button up and get to work. You know what I mean? No, fair enough. Build it. Sort it.
Yeah, build second
Also,
cities, get new scouting systems, do all that shit if you want, but just sign Brian fucking Mbeumo
They
first.
said we were going to make all this in 5 years. It's been 6 months already.
They're just panicking,
Where's
aren't
my
they?
stadium? Not even fucking got it yet. Nothing.
I know, man.
Still walking around that miniature going, isn't it excellent? Don't even know what colour it's going to be. Aren't they still coming up with like what materials?
Do you think they're just blagging to Jim Ratcliffe?
What, hoping he...
Is he going to be around in 2050? Like, genuinely?
Yeah.
Like, I think they're just going, in 2050 to Jim, this will be like the best city ever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Thinking he won't fucking be here anyway, so we would tell him whatever we want.
And maybe they're hoping as he ages, he'll shrink enough that he can go in that model and go, Jim, we did it. And he's obviously quite old by then.
Sounds like Zoolander.
Because,
what is this?
Yay. What is this? A second city for ants? Maybe Jim Ratcliffe, a tiny, withered Jim Ratcliffe, will cut the opening thing with a tiny pair of scissors on that model. As Omar Barada, just everyone stay back. He's buying it.
I think he gets taller as he gets older.
Ratcliffe?
I think I've seen pictures of him when he's young, he weren't that tall.
Was he not?
No, I think he's one of them.
Like a tree?
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? As he gets older.
Because some people go like, back like smaller as they get older.
Yeah.
Some people just oak tree it up.
You just keep growing
forever bigger.
He was only 5'7" when he was our age.
Fuck.
Honestly, it's mad.
Don't look our age.
Coach Zach, USMC vet, says, I got here late today, but about to restart, but just want to say, Joe, with that hat on, you look like you're not allowed near schools or places kids play. That's quite bizarre.
I'm not.
Because that super chat started off quite reasonable.
Yeah.
I'm just hearing you. And then turned into saying you look like a nonce.
No, I don't think he's saying that.
You're not allowed near schools or places kids play?
Yeah, because I'm at work. Obviously I'm not. I'm on this video. Of course I'm not allowed there.
Okay, Neo Wolf says, Joe, only sloppy Joes, not sloppy seconds for you. Did you just spit fucking something back into that cup? You absolute minger. Jashau Bengenboy says, Juve is set to offer contract termination to Vlahovic to avoid paying €24 million salary. Vlahovic remains hopeful of Man United availability on the market.
Yeah, seen a bit of that. We'll get into a bit more of that tomorrow maybe, because there has been rumours that they're going to cut his contract. But to do that, they have to pay his wages off. You don't just get to do that for nothing. It's not, he's on ridiculous wages, Vlahovic. So we'll see a bit more of that tomorrow.
Yeah, I think that's your lot, innit?
Yeah, that's your lot, Jay. And we've got a lot coming out tomorrow as well. Big stuff tomorrow.
Yes.
Big time. Laurie Whitwell's on the channel.
Witters.
Yeah, we're going to go through exactly what the living F is going on right here.
Sign Brian Mbeumo, man. Seriously.
Need extra flavour in that.
Absolute. You rank you.
Let's wrap it up.
Dirty boy.
Let's wrap it up, big boy.
Right, anyway, go and check out him and more of his filth over on Sloppy Joe's podcast. You can... Where is there?
This is like when Ron O'Sullivan plays snooker with a VR headset and falls over.
I can't see him. Yeah, I'm back in the morning with the news. Say goodbye to producer Cam. Yeah, there you go.
Say your prayers, kids.
Yeah, well done. Well done today. You've done well. That's been Joe Smith. I'm Jay Motti. This has been Transfers Live. Don't forget to hit like, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching.